Hey, I don't know what's coming out there.
You're overly excited.
Good stuff.
We're keeping it. How you doing, folks? Welcome back to another episode of the Off-Air Voiceover podcast. My name, of course, is Michael.
And I'm Jen.
And I don't even know where to start with this one. As you've seen on the thumbnails that have gone out, it gives me tremendous pleasure to introduce our extremely special guest today, the one and only Mr. David Bateson. How are you doing, sir?
Woo.
Hello, Michael and Jen. Nice to see you again, Jen.
Nice to see you again.
It's great. As I was just saying, the sun is shining, life is good, and right now I've got things to do. Work-wise, as we all know, in the freelance world. There's a very fine line between freelance and unemployed. Sometimes I can't tell the difference.
It blurs into both, like at least once a month. Like which side of the camp am I in this one?
Even when things are good in this business, like might have loads of downtime, even if it's good, it's like how is this my job?
Yeah. I was saying that yesterday when I was out in the session in Paris. Like the lady that I was chatting to, she said sometimes we get some people that come in and they like we book them for a certain amount of time, and it's like right, and the actors can be like, right, well, we can't overrun. If we overrun, you got to pay this, and like they're very rigid and stuff. And I was like, I understand why some people do that, but I was like, I don't think sometimes people appreciate how fortunate we are to do this job. And then so with the opportunities that come along, sort of just make the most of them, etc. So then for her to say that sometimes people like just don't appreciate it and they sort of take it for granted a little bit. It's like, well, because there can be months where you're not working, you might have to go and get a job or something, you know what I mean? It was just alarming that she said that. I was like, wow, no, I treasure this every single day.
Yeah, David, I mean, you've been doing this for quite a long time now. I mean, it must have changed so much in the time that you've been working in voice acting and acting.
Yeah. Oh, yes, we used to record in black and white when I was that far back. The industry has changed. I started when I was at university back in 100,000 years ago in South Africa, and I started in radio drama. We're going back to a country before television. Yes, I am that old. No. Television only came to South Africa in 1976.
Is that right?
And it was crap. It was 3 hours a day of absolute poo. So the media of choice was radio, and of course radio drama or play, whatever you call that. So I was second year university and studying drama and English literature and stuff, and I went down to the BBC of South Africa, called SABC, and asked them, do you need any young voices to play the juvenile parts? And I'll come to take Betty to them. Never quite like that, but they went, yeah, for goodness sake. But the thing is, it was. I know our world is a pretty kind of lonely world when you're just you and the microphone in a padded cell. But standing in front of grown-up men and women who are all around this one piece of metal called a microphone, and I'm standing there going, oh, what do we do now then? He says, well, you turn the pages of your script very, very quietly, like away from them. Really? Wow. So you're kind of like... And then I'm watching grown men going, darling, I love you.
Yeah, making out with their own hand.
I try not to. I'm watching a grown man kiss his hand and fall in love. So it was.
That must have been a crash course.
A very primitive stuff. Try not to laugh because it was,
wow.
scary.
Well, I've mentioned this story before. I love audio drama, and one of the reasons why I got into voice acting was purely because of audio dramas. Like, I just thought it's such a fantastic medium. Yeah. And one of my first jobs, which I had no business being in this production because I had no experience. I was completely winging it, but I did an audition and it got me the job. The role that she gave me, he ended up actually changing, and rightly so. The character that took my place, he was a little bit older. His voice was a bit more matured, and it suited it better. So instead, she asked me to play these other two characters, and like you're saying then about the kiss in the hand and stuff, like right at the end of this play, the scene is me and this character. We're in this fire in this house. We're not. think of Beauty and the Beast, but like a more adult version. So the couch talks, the curtains move and talk, all that stuff. So anyway, me and this character, we're at the end. The house is burning, and it was like, "Oh my god, baby!" Just couldn't get the tone right. It was the most embarrassing thing. And then all these people looking at us, and they're like, "No, you need to get the emotion up there." And I was like,
But I'm a curtain. What are you
Oh my
talking
God,
about?
honestly.
And the girl, she was fantastic, to be fair. She's like, "Oh my god, I love you so much." And I was just like, I just felt so wooden and just out of my depth. And I was like, "Oh, I love you too, baby."
Honestly, every time you tell me this story, I die inside a little bit. It's just so
It's the
awful.
most embarrassing thing.
Yeah, you have an out of body experience, hey? And then
Oh
you kind
god.
of, I'm glad no one's watching this. Oh my goodness, they are.
And recording it forever and
Yeah.
ever and
I
ever.
got it back at the end, and when she sent me the final thing, I was like, surely she's cut that or she's replaced me or something.
Yeah,
But no, it was in
definitely.
there. And I suppose when you add in all the bells and the whistles and you tweak it, it does actually sound a little bit better than what you might remember in the moment. But gosh,
I'll
Have you still
believe
got
you.
that though?
Millions wouldn't.
yeah, that's a fair
Millions
statement.
don't.
So yeah,
I-
so started off early days because you've moved around. So you obviously you were saying then you live in Copenhagen now, but you South Africa born, lived in the UK for a while.
Yeah. My folks are from Yorkshire. My dad
Oh,
was
okay,
an
right.
engineer, so
Oh,
he
whereabouts
was
in Yorkshire? Sorry, just to get down to the
Shipley.
nitty-gritty. Shipley.
Shipley.
Oh, okay.
And my mum came from Menston, so there was
Okay.
Shipley and Menston, but I haven't been there for yonks. I can't even remember when I was there. But yeah. So no, my dad was actually. I should have been born and brought up in India. He was an Indian, because he could speak all these Oriental languages. He could speak 7 of them actually: Punjabi and Hindu and Urdu, and because. Those are the days where they put you in, learn foreign languages and go out and protect the colony, the empire, stick a flag in it, all that stuff. But anyway, and then he was pulled back to the UK when India started, kicking up a fuss and wanting their independence. Why not? Of course. But and he was offered South Africa, Durban, South Africa. There's a very large Indian population down there. So the company, said, come out here and impress everyone with all your languages.
Oh, sorry, so I got that wrong. So you weren't. So I made a mistake. So it wasn't South Africa you were born. You were born in the UK and moved to South Africa.
No, I was born in the 3 kids. We were born in Durban, South Africa.
Oh, right, okay, I'm with you.
But we had 7 years back in the UK. For me, 6 to 13, and then I went back to South Africa until I was 24.
That must have been tricky, moving at 13, because I think 13 you've kind of...
Yeah, it was. I didn't even know my best friend was Indian. He was my best friend.
Yeah.
So I couldn't understand after 6 months of writing to him, going, hey, we've got palm trees in our garden. We're next to the beach and you got to come and stay. And he never wrote back for 6 months. And then I finally said to my mum, Mom, I'm so upset. Surendra is not really, he's my best mate. And she sat me down and said, David, he couldn't stay in our house, unfortunately. And I went, why? Have we got an extra bedroom? No, because he's from India. And I didn't understand this whole apartheid thing.
Gosh.
So, fast forward, I thought, right, I'm finished my high school and then I'm out of here.
Yeah.
And then I got, through my father's company, the offer of free university education with no strings attached, if I got the grades. And I got the grades and I thought, okay, I'll be a dick to not say yes to this. So I did 4 years at university. And then I thought, right, now I'm going back. And I started acting. From the day I wrote my last exam, I went from that to the National Theatre and was assistant to the assistant stage manager, the bottom of the food chain.
But you're still there.
I was the one who wiped the actors' bottoms, No, but and I worked non-stop for 3.5 years, and got very, very well known. Which, looking back, I'm going, why didn't I ever take advantage of that? I never did.
It's an amazing thing.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I mean, I used to have, invited to all the premieres, and I had my own table at restaurants, and I never ever queued for it. It was really nice. But there was a thing, I did these a whole bunch of interviews. The South Africa's version of the Edinburgh Festival is called the Grahamstown Festival. And it was 3 weeks before I was leaving the country. I booked my ticket 3 times before in those last 3 years. And then it would come up, oh, this is a TV series. Okay. And there's the feature film. Oh, all right then. And so it went. But
Yeah.
got to this, I think it was the 4th time, and I went, I'm leaving. And here's the thing. At that festival, I was in Julius Caesar with the National Theatre. I was dancing with a contemporary dance company called Barefoot Dance. And I was doing a David Mamet play, a 2-hander called Duck Variations, with another actor who we just decided to do it. We'd just done it in Copenhagen, Durban. And we thought, hey, you know what? We're both in town. Let's do it. We can remember the words. We just need a bench. So we went out into the suburbs and stole a bench from someone's garden.
As you do.
And on the condition we'll put it back.
Okay.
And we did, actually. But the point being is, we won the top award with this little 2-hander, and we did it in a disused nightclub. Just threw some leaves on the floor, lit some lamps, and put this park bench, or rather garden bench, from someone's very nice neighborhood. And we won the Fringe First or equivalent, award, and got all this attention. And we're going, oh shit! The park bench is going to be everywhere. Oh, no. We're going to get nicked. And what happened was, the top agent in the country flew down and said, what's the shows I need to see? And they said, if you don't see anything else, go and see 2 guys in Duck Variations. It's just won Best Award. And anyway, she saw the show, came to me afterwards and said, David, I've given this a lot of thought. I said, I know you. I've been writing to you for years, you cow. And she said, I'm going to offer you a 6-month tour of this play with a residency at the Market Theatre in Joburg, a TV series, a film, and a late-night chat show.
Jeez.
And I went, where have you been for 3.5 years?
Yeah.
Now you come. And this is a true story. I went, no, thank you. I'm leaving in about 10 days, 2 weeks' time after this. Thank you so much for this offer. And I couldn't tell the whole story, but because I'm leaving because I can't hack living under apartheid anymore as a privileged white person.
Yeah.
I wasn't politically active. It just was wrong. And I had childhood in the real world, and this was wrong. So anyway, the press did this massive press junket down there, and all these people are asking me, and he said, David, we've got a pool amongst all the journalists. We're betting on why you live such a weird life. I went, sorry? I didn't know it was weird. Yeah, you don't have a phone. You have a motorbike. You live in a single room above a single garage. I went, and anyone can get hold of you is through a pager. Why? You're famous. You work all the time. And I said, I never thought I was something weird. I never thought. It was just my university digs, Nick, right near the university in Durban. And I liked it so much. I went, I'm staying. I'm very happy, thank you. Leave me alone. But they thought I was weird. So they had this bet going that there must be some really weird reason why. and I asked them, I said, come on, what's it? He said, well, I'm a bit embarrassed. The one that's got the favorite at the moment, it's at like 3-1 odds on you. I went, what? Is that you were found in a compromising position with another actor having sex, a male actor, and your mum walked in. I went, ooh.
That adds a twist, doesn't it?
That's theirs. Okay, there's pool hair. And you were living this bizarre sort of hermit life ever since. And I was actually speechless. I said, well, sorry to disappoint you. But the point is that when I left, and the front page of the culture section of the National Daily paper in South Africa said, David Bateson commits career suicide. I went, oh, thank you very much. The point being is I couldn't tell anyone the real kind of reason for leaving. I'm like, I'm leaving, you should too.
Yeah.
And the press had a field day with that as well.
Yeah, exactly. And I felt terrible because, of course, a lot of people were doing wonderful things. And one of my best friends had a wife and a baby child, and he would drive into townships in the evening to set up this theatre company. I have to say, putting his life in quite a lot of risk if he bumped into the wrong people.
Yeah.
But so he was putting his money where his mouth was and staying and making a difference. Whereas I just went, oh, I can't hack this. And the reason why I left and said no to all those amazing offers was because I thought I'll never take this serious. I'll never stick at it if I'm used to having a life with a fancy house and a pool and whatever. I didn't have any of those things.
In that,
I wouldn't go to the UK and going, fuck this, I'm going back.
Yeah, well,
so I went over to conquer the United Kingdom and failed dismally. But here's the thing: 3 years ago, I was at the BAFTA Games Awards with Jane Perry.
Yeah,
she was nominated, the lovely Jane, for Returnal, which she won that evening. So I was her chaperone. We took a taxi from her place, and we got to the Queen Elizabeth Hall, which is next to the Waterloo Bridge. I got out of the taxi on the right side. She got out with her then husband on the left side. And I walked. What happens was, as I opened the door, I'm got the whole tux on. We're going to have the red carpet. We're going to schmooze. And Agent 47 and Diana Burnwood are going to be, work the room and all that stuff. And as I opened the door, I went, oh, God, I've slept there. Actually, I didn't. I was homeless for a period of time. I was actually homeless for 15 months, but I sofa surfed most of the time.
Yeah.
But there was about a 4-month period where I was.
When you first moved to the UK?
No, towards the end. That's how well my career went over. But the point being is, I went, oh, shit. I remember lying there. We're talking 5 meters away.
Yeah.
And I was so nervous because I kind of asked all these people, homeless people, is that okay if yeah, come on in. I was so nervous that I was going to be murdered in the middle of the night or something. I actually didn't sleep. I got up in the middle of the night and sort of, excuse me.
Wow, that's incredible.
And that really fucked me up.
Yeah.
And I came around the back of the taxi, and Jane looked at my face and said, shit, are you okay? You look like you've seen a ghost. I went, never mind. And we went up and did the red carpet. As we walked in, all this... I took two. There's a waitress, or with the glasses of champagne as you walk in. I took 2 glasses of champagne, went woof, woof, and then took another 2. And Jane looks at me again. Thirsty, are we? I'll explain later. And
wow!
It really freaked me out because it reminded me, of some, not good memories.
I feel like this podcast is going to in no way be long enough to hear. Like, I've got so many questions. No, please don't. I'm so intrigued.
But that's my career in the UK, and it didn't work out.
Wow.
I did a lot of good stuff, but no, I didn't. I worked. Here's the thing: if anyone's listening to this, think about doing something else, maybe.
Yeah.
Not voice. Voice work is brilliant, but I worked as an actor in 7.5 years in Britain. 23 months. I worked it out many years ago.
And that's probably quite a lot.
Yeah.
That's the
Jen,
sad thing.
this is the truth. Everyone I told that to when I was living in London, they went, well done. That's the average. That's 1 job a year. That's 3 months a year. Well done.
Yeah.
And I went, that is a waste of life.
Yeah.
Bye.
Well, it depends what else you're doing, but yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But for me, having come from doing 2 to 3 productions
of course,
all the
yeah.
time, I rehearsed one thing in the morning, one thing in the afternoon, and I performed in the evening. And then that's all I did for 3.5 years. The first thing, I remember this, when I first got an agent 2 years after moving to London or to the UK, first thing my agent did, he said, I'm going to have to tear up your CV. I went, why? He said, because it's totally unbelievable. I went, why? What? I've done so much. He said, exactly. That's not possible. You're 26 years old. You should have done 5 things.
But
I went,
that's
I've done
very
50.
weird advice.
Well, he'd said it really, he meant it because I can't send this CV out. It's just impossible.
Okay.
It's impossible. So I went, well, it's not actually. If you got I work in the one morning, work in the afternoon, and perform in the evening, or at worst, rehearse something in the day and perform in the evening something else, or film in the day. And I was very, very privileged. Had an exceptional start, but I had to throw that all away, and just be. And the other thing, which I was aware of, that kind of the old school Thai network of what drama school did you go to? It means a lot when you're in your 20s.
Of course.
They identify you. Oh, I was at RADA. Is Dickie still there?
Of course it's Dickie, isn't it? Bloody Dickie.
Yeah, exactly. Dickie. Oh, yes. Tarquin Gaylord. He was wonderful. And no, are there any Tarquins out there?
Also, come and say hi, because you've got an amazing name.
Actually, it's true. I went to... I went to Manchester School of Acting, but there were some people from there who'd been to RADA, and it was very much like, did you go to RADA? Oh, yes, I went to RADA from London and now Manchester. And I was like, it's very cliquey. Well, it's a bit more... Yeah. I found it when at the MSA, Manchester School of Acting, I found it, it's just the vast majority of people were very chill, very grounded. But there were some who brought out the RADA, the what would you call it? The RADA card. I
mean, it's great, but
I have a question for you.
Sure.
Did any of these RADA people wear their coats over their shoulders? Seriously, I've met...
hold it this way. Like there's a bit of this, and
It's so unfair to say that, but I've met 2 RADA actors, and I went, "Why do you put your arms in and wear your coat like a coat instead of like a Batman,
like a cape?"
Yeah, oh darling, we're going way back, but still,
obviously, just so you can quickly just brush it off the shoulders and go straight into character. Like I've arrived.
And someone will pick it up for them anyway. They won't hit the floor.
What about you, Jen? Come on, tell us the truth.
I went to university to study drama. I did not have the confidence to go for any acting schools, but it was good.
Yeah, me neither. Mine was a university degree.
But it was interesting. I think definitely learned more on the job. Then I moved to New Zealand and did a number of different things, and did some TV and short films and all that kind of stuff. So it was an excellent education doing that. I think I learned a lot more doing that on the job.
Yeah, of course.
We've been doing this podcast for 2 years, and I am today years old that I knew you lived in New Zealand doing work.
I mean, I feel like you're not paying attention then, Michael, because it's definitely not the first time I've told you it.
Michael, shame on you.
Shame on you.
You are a shallow person.
I absolutely own it. I apologise sincerely. It'll be one of those things at like 3 o'clock in the morning. My brain will be like, "That's when she told you."
Okay, Jen, I have another question for you. I'm doing the podcast this year. You're the guests.
I feel really awkward now, though.
Jen, why did you go to New Zealand?
Well, I was with my ex-boyfriend.
Was it love?
No, well, I was with my ex-boyfriend at the time. We went together from the UK, and we wanted to live abroad, and we wanted someone that spoke English because we didn't speak any other languages. And Canada was harder to get a visa, so it was New Zealand.
You wanted to live abroad? Because people were going, I'm leaving the UK.
Both of us really liked travelling at the time, wanted to experience a different culture, but also kind of knew our limits as well. So wanted to go somewhere that was English speaking. And both like being outdoors, and I'm really into running and walking and things. So New Zealand, and it was New Zealand or Canada, and Canada's visas are harder to get than New Zealand. So.
I'm going to Canada this year.
I'd love to go.
It's gorgeous, but I'm going for a 1-day Comic-Con.
What?
In the middle of nowhere.
Why?
And I went because I would never go to this town in my whole life. And that's why I'm going, because that, and I did the same last year with this. I went to Sudbury in Ontario, just north of the lakes. But like it's 4.5 hours drive from Toronto. And it's an old mining town that's kind of like imploded on itself because the mining has gone downhill. And I had the greatest time. And they're such lovely people. And so the same organizer said, David, I've got another one in Rouen.
Okay.
In I think it's Quebec.
Yeah.
It's a French. It's also a small, tiny mining town, but it's 100 years old this year.
Oh wow!
So you got to come. I went. You know what? I will. I want to. So just because it's there,
So you're flying into Quebec and then driving up. What's the?
No, again, I fly into Toronto,
Okay.
and I think they're going to drive me to Sudbury, and then we go north, whatever it is, east, up to Rouen.
We actually have we have a Rouen, which is 45 minutes away from me.
There you go. It's probably the same place.
Yeah, but probably mimic each other because it is like a really old.
But I love it. Canada is gorgeous.
Well, last year
that's where Jane's from, isn't it? Actually,
last year, I didn't know that. So my partner Steph, she's from Ohio, and last summer we spent a month in Ohio, and I didn't realise that the border to Canada was like a 2-hour drive.
Yeah.
From Ohio to get into Canada, and so we contemplated going, and just like sort of having a breakaway for a few days and go and explore. We didn't go in the end, but it was just like I've always really wanted to go, and I thought that would have been a good opportunity because I had no idea the border was that close.
Oh man, if you ever do, haven't you seen a drop? This what is it? 35 million people, and the place is bigger than America, and next door is 330 million. And that's still empty. These countries aren't countries; they're continents.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I really there's so much I want to see of Canada. I did the Alaskan Highway from. Actually, my sister lives in Atlanta, Georgia, and I drove across America up to the Rockies, and then went north Edmonton, and then just did the 1,500-mile Alaskan Highway up.
Nice.
Wow.
But so, I mean, you're driving for 4 days, and I haven't seen anyone. Hello.
It's so vast.
It's
so
ridiculous.
I found
and then I remember stopping once, and we got out because we saw this bear with 2 cubs, and went, "Oh, let's stop and take photographs." And my then girlfriend got out the car and I went, "Hang on a minute, I think we're called Meals on Wheels."
Yeah, literally.
I think get back in the car because the food chain has just turned on its head.
Yeah. I found that when I went to America, I do like the place, but it is very vast. I mean, it's like when you live in Europe. For those that listen to this that are stateside, so in Europe, everything is way more like condensed than like you can, if you live in towns or cities, you can leave your front door and walk to a shop and get what you need. Whereas in America, I found like, if you need something from the store, like go into the shop, does anyone need anything? Yeah, all right, see you tomorrow. Because everything's
Canada's like that time 10. If you're going to go and buy I'll run out of milk, bugger.
That's what next 6 hours done.
You are so screwed. Find a cow.
I was going to say, yeah.
You mentioned about Comic-Con. There's a Comic-Con in Paris, I think in about a week. Are you going to that?
No, I'm not. If it's the Paris Games, that is off the scale. I did the Paris Games with Sean Bean.
Oh, okay.
He was an elusive target. We scanned into the game, and it was. Sean Bean's, a famous actor, has done loads of red carpets and loads of movies, and died in most of them. But after a whole day of interviewing, these 4 big massive Fijians with long hair and big dinner suits, with tuxedos. They came into the room. It was like a walking silhouette. They walked in. "Monsieur, we are going to be your bodyguards. If you'll just come with us." And I remember Sean Bean looked at me with his sort of lovely Sheffield accent. "Oh, I don't think we're going to need a bodyguard. Do you think so, David?" I went, and then the one Fijian, he looked out the window and said, "Monsieur, take a look out the window." And he looked at us, and there's like 5,000 people on the street having a kind of, it looked like something out of that that Zen film, Zed film.
Oh, yeah.
They looked like they were all,
Brad Pitt one, World War Z.
Yeah, they were all just like frothing at the mouth and pushed up against the front of the Belmont 5-star hotel. I went, oh, and he went, bloody hell. and we needed them. He said, Monsieur, stay right behind me and go. And we sort of tried to make the day. I made it, by the way, because they were going, who's that bald geezer? Where's Sean?
Where's Sean?
Sean got torn apart.
Oh.
Is it quite surreal?
They sort of swept his Fijian wall of flesh just got swept aside, and he was pinned against the wall.
It's the Sheffield. That's what it is. It's all about Sheffield. That's what.
It got weirder when we got there. We were sort of escorted into the middle of this amazing, huge hall, to this PlayStation tower. And they were at the top of the tower having a drink and looking out over the sea of people. And around the other side of the tower, we couldn't see it, but we could hear this French DJ going, Hitman, Sean. And he was whipping the crowd into a frenzy, throwing hats and T-shirts into the crowd. And Sean Bean's going, bloody hell, it was just it's a bit hectic, isn't it? So when we went down, ready to go on, there's 3 steps up into the stage. We're backstage, and this guy's going off, and the crowd are going mental. And he's standing on nearly the top of the 3 steps, and I'm behind him. And suddenly he comes back down these 3 steps and said, I think you should go first, David. I went, why? He said, I think they're going to tear us apart, because there was no railing. It was just, we're talking a 3-foot stage, and then the audience just going, So when they announced it, they said, look, Hitman! And I was like pushed out. And he made it that time, because he didn't.
Sounds terrifying.
It was off the scale.
Is it quite a surreal feeling, sort of being known or recognised by so many people? Because I'd imagine, because I think some people, I'd imagine it's almost as if they feel like they know you through your work, but so then they meet you as because you get some super fans who can tell you everything about your childhood, it's because they just invest so much into the person. So what's
it's like being in a room full of stalkers. Really.
Yeah, so what's it like? I mean,
it's fabulous. No, it is fabulous.
If you're on a stage and you've got thousands of people, I sometimes wonder, how do you come down from that? Not the actual stage, but the high of, just having so much admiration from all these people. I don't know. I could just imagine the adrenaline must be going.
No, I tell you what, it's very humbling. It's very, very humbling, because you are presented with people who, if you see a favorite film, Jen.
Yeah.
Name a film that you really, really like.
Oh, I'm just watching Lord of the Rings again. So oldie but a goodie.
Okay. And what about you, Michael?
Oh, wow, that's a great... where do I start? One of the Godfathers, Godfather 2.
Okay, cool. Now, if that's your favourite film, you ask yourself, how many times have I seen that film? Okay, because you've seen it 3, 4, 5 times. I don't know.
A million.
Yeah. Then you're standing in front of a queue as far as the eye can see, nearly, and these people are coming up to you and going, "You're my childhood." And you go, "What? But you're 35. I've been playing you since I was 9." And you're going, "Whoa." Call security. No. It's extraordinary, because they've spent 500 hours, 1,000 hours with your voice in their ear.
Well, I said it when we first started. Well, even when we first started, before we hit record, I said the same thing. For me, it is quite surreal, because from the first Hitman game came out, 2000 was it? 2000.
Yeah, 2000.
Yeah. So being a gamer, and I can sort of relate. It's very surreal. But I was curious about that, because to have that many people sort of have all these memories, and then they see you, and then they hear the voice in real life, and it's all these associations. I just always wondered what that high must be like, and then coming down from it, go back.
And then you're back with your kids, and they're like,
it's like you see the boxers go out into an arena of 30, 40,000 people, and everyone's going absolutely crazy. There's fireworks, and then 45 minutes later, they're back in a dressing room. Then they maybe getting in a car and going home, putting the telly on. It's
Yeah.
just so crazy how you come down from that sort of high. But it's
But it's beautiful because I'm there, and this dads who's bringing their sons or daughters for that matter, and and telling you that they were playing this game when at their children's age or something, and you're going, what? Am I that old? Because it's been going for 25 years. But
25.
but the thing is, then when after the third game, after I think it was after Blood Money, they scanned my face in when they got the new engine, the Glacier engine. They started to, the motion capture and performance capture really started to unfold, and that was the start of when they actually scanned my face in. I did look like him, I was told he has a much stronger nose. So they've kept his nose, but they've scanned my face in. So I'm not helping matters. I'm dressed in the outfit, and I got a barcode in the back of my head, and I could see them coming up, and they look at the poster and go, oh my God, it is him.
Really him, Daddy?
It's 1840s.
Well, this makes actually a good segue into the Hitman conversation. So, because from what I understand, this actually happened. Well, I know you had to audition for it, but from what I understand, you were doing another voiceover project, and they heard your voice or something.
No, it was a little production company, sound studio, I was doing a corporate thing, like I don't know what I was doing, Nova Nordisk or something, But the point is, some guy came into the booth during a take and went, "Excuse me, David, sorry. Could you, when you're finished, would you come and have a look at some of the graphics of this computer game we're designing?" So they were actually doing the graphics for this computer game, and they said, "We need a voice for this guy, this bald guy." So I did. I had a look at it. So it was kind of being in the right place at the right time. I knew afterwards that they saw or heard a lot of people from around the world, but it certainly helped that I was right there. I looked like the guy, and I just did an audition for it where I thought, you know what, I'm going with this kind of Philip Marlowe
noir detective.
Just kind of flat and saying almost this radio play thing like, "I opened the door, the door closed," and just kept it real. And it was the silent assassin, so there weren't much words to say. No great sort of emotional. Which is why I'm no. Don't go with it.
To be fair, that's not an easy thing to do, because when there isn't a great deal of dialogue, but you still have. But it's like
you still have to make a mark.
Yeah, absolutely. Like even if it's just like the odd word or two, to still.
Well, here's the
that
thing.
Character.
Last year, coming up now in April, is the Danish Games Awards, and last year I was asked to go and present the last prize, which was the Hall of Fame, and to this fantastic guy who has everyone's grown up with in this country. He was the kind of the computer nerd from before computer nerds were computer nerds. And so they said, right, could you give us, do a little speech for him? He doesn't know. He's sitting in the audience, and but don't say his name at the the beginning, and just make this is going to someone who's made such an impact on the computer game industry over so many that kind of a and I had to do it in Danish. So I went, oh bloody hell! And as we're walking out, the co-host who'd arranged the whole thing, he had said to me, "Oh, by the way, don't really stretch out the fact that you're not saying his name." I went, "What? Oh shit! More Danish. I have to suddenly
improv.
Improv in Danish." But so as I started there, and then he interrupted me and said, "Listen, and we now have a video which David has not even seen yet." I went, "No." And they showed this thing, and it was this guy who I was supposed to give the prize to. And I went, I'm now confused because he must be in the audience because he doesn't know I'm going to give it. And then the point being of this long story is that in his talk, he mentioned something which I'd never thought about before, about what the fans apparently have seen in what I've done, is that he makes a person who you shouldn't have any sympathy for or compassion or understanding for, because I'm a test tube built assassin with no feelings. So there's not a lot to go on as a human being to sort of put a bit of nuance into a bit of emotion.
Bring your history with you.
Yeah, but he's made that character into someone you genuinely care about, and can enjoy the very, very super dark humor and sort of curiosity about human nature when he's seeing, and I went, oh my God, and then he said my name at the end of it, and it was me he was talking about, and then I lost the plot. It was, the whole thing was a setup to give me.
Sounds brilliant.
And you saw, as I said in Danish, when I was getting this award, this is the first assassin to stand here crying.
I got to find the clips.
But it was interesting because it came out of nowhere. Yeah,
I remember the original games. Yeah, with there not being a great deal of dialogue, and you're right. I remember when playing the first game. Yeah, it was like, do I like this guy? Am I a bad guy? And I'm just going through the motions. But then as the game developed and the series went on, and then obviously there was a bit more dialogue. There was way more persona that was coming out. There was more. Yeah, it was more dialogue, sort of more relatability and whatnot. So then it evolved. Then you had then you started doing the performance capture stuff. But I read that there was actually, was it the Absolution game? There was something happening around there where you weren't involved in it or something. You got brought in.
Oh, it's not a proud moment necessarily of our interactive. No, because there'd been actually it turned out to be a 6-year break from Blood Money to Absolution. But after about the 4.5 years, they said, right, David, we'll be doing the next one. You'll be recording the next one. Absolution in about 9 months' time. And then 9 or 11 months' time. Point is, then I didn't hear anything. So, all right, they know my number. And then they went to the E3 in Los Angeles and played a 90-second trailer with this other voice. It's Tom Cruise's cousin. I think his name is Christopher Malaprat from the Lost TV series.
Right.
And that's all it was. That was 90 seconds with someone else saying my voice. And okay, we're talking Absolution, 2012. And my phone exploded.
Yeah. Oh,
just
David.
Exploded. And I had no idea. I seriously, I didn't even know how to turn the thing on to mute or whatever it was. It was iPhone 3 or something. And I went, what the fuck?
Yeah,
my phone's having a heart attack. And for 3 days, I had it under a cushion. I literally had it under. I couldn't shut the.
But you knew
I could turn the volume down, but I didn't know what. And every now and again, I'd look at it again. There was this permanent stream of messages, and I'm not going near the bloody answer machine because it's. Anyway, the thing is, I'd been dropped, and they hadn't told me.
It makes me so angry. Because you're not the. I mean, obviously things have turned out, haven't they? But you're not the only one this happens to. It happens.
You're welcome to go in another direction, but just tell me.
Yes, just have the courtesy to tell us. I think that's They
were very apologetic about it.
Did the other guy sound like you though?
No, but here's the thing. To their credit, and I really mean this, IO Interactive, because I've known these guys for 25 years.
Yeah.
To their credit, they were then owned by, I think it was Eidos.
Yeah.
The fans started a campaign.
I bet they did.
To not buy the game.
Yeah.
Oh.
When they put out as a pre-order in like January, February of 2012 or 13, I can't remember now. And no one bought it for like 4 months. And I knew at that time, with this new engine and the 6-year break, they'd spent like $50 million or something getting this whole. If people didn't buy this game on the pre-order,
they're in trouble.
We're going to be toast.
Yeah.
And anyway, so I got this kind of nervous phone call, going, would you like to work with us again? I thought you were all dead. And I said, of course, guys.
Yeah.
So I thought it was another game, not Hitman.
Yeah.
And I said, I'll come into the office. No. Let's meet off site. I went, okay. And we did in some of the smallest cafe in Copenhagen. and it was like a drug deal. They slid across this a big NDA, which is about this thick. I went, what? I'm not reading this. You have to. So, of course, I didn't. I just no. Skim, signed. And I went, right, what's the game? And he slid across this other envelope. I went, this is so sketchy. And I opened it up, and it was Hitman, Absolution. I went, hey, but you've done Absolution. And I went, but now you can't talk about it because you've signed an NDA. Yeah. And they had decided to go behind the backs of their employers. Eidos. And
you're not breaking NDA talking to us about this, are you?
No, I'm not. No. This is what I mean, totally to their credit.
Yeah.
Because they were absolutely putting their jobs on the line because they could be the upper management would be fired on the spot. We recorded it in secret over a month at a studio in Copenhagen, which is kind of fun because they had a code on the door. And again, so the other people in the studio and the other, Dave, you're here again. Yeah. What are you doing? None of your business.
E-learning.
Knock. What's the password? And I would sneak into the studio and we'd record for a month, and then they flew up. I think it was to Montreal, and presented it to their owners. So come on,
I see.
Hand on heart, what do you think, Chris Malaprat or the ball guy? And they, to their credit, they listened to it and went, you know what? Yeah, I think we made a mistake. Let's go with the. So they all kept their jobs, and it was green-lighted, and the rest is history. But the point is, that's thanks to the fans.
I was going to say, it's quite incredible.
Thanks to the fans. Amazing fans.
Which kind of ties in with what I said before about, when you go to these events and you see all these people, this admiration. It's a real thing. So the fact that you were able to, or their voice was able to make a studio go in a different direction and admit, listen, we made a mistake and we're going to fix it. It's it's an incredible. I just wonder why when something's working, and you got your 2 games in, the voice is such a great match for the character. It's running, it's evolving, it's got a fan base. Why would you change it? It just makes no sense.
Yeah. You ask yourself that. I mean, I had this conversation yesterday with Jen, or rather on the emails, where I was called by my voice agent in London, said, we got a job for you. It's a big commercial, TV, brilliant. What's your availability? And I actually queried this email because that's weird. I haven't even auditioned. So I wrote to the agent, one of the agents, and said, listen, are you sure? Is this you want availability so we can record a test, or is it the actual job? I don't get this. So, and I got a short reply, no, it's the actual job. You got the job. It's big. Good. So then, of course, in your head, you're already spending the money.
Yeah.
Just big mistake. Don't even do that. So, and then you get an email later in the day because I'm going, listen, I've got a few gigs coming up right now. So these are my availabilities. They're closing down. What are we doing? And then you just get a short reply going, oh, they've decided to go in another direction, as I said to Jenna. And you're going, I just want to murder that person. And I will enjoy it. Agent 47, let's go. So what I'm saying is, from getting the job, from maybe a slightly delay in confirming it, in those 10 minutes or something, they've gone, I'll find another voice.
You just no idea, have you, like what it's about, or someone else has heard it, like a top person has thought, no, actually, I wanted a woman or somebody with a lighter voice. It's just,
I think it's
no reason, is it? You drive yourself mad guessing.
For those that don't do this job, it's hard to put in. Not hard to put into words. It's easy to put into words, but the feeling of like when you get to like a final 2 or a final 3, and you usually in my head, like I had it recently with McDonald's, a national spot for McDonald's, and I was down. I was in the final 6. I got the job, but it was.
You did.
For about 3 weeks, it was like. I mean, it was all right. The session went well, and everything. We got on a good rapport. All these, but that you're just one person away from going. Nah, not that one.
Yeah.
It all just gets taken away from you. And when I realised how many layers of approval this had to have, up to the McDonald's UK and Ireland CEO,
Oh, flipping heck!
There was a
Really?
lot. Yeah, there was about 6 agencies involved in the whole process, and it had to get ticked off by all of them.
You
And
could so easily. I mean, that's the thing. If it's just one person or two people
yeah, it was a
thinking,
lot.
"We like this voice, let's go with it."
Yeah.
Boom, decision
Yeah,
done.
yeah. And
But
it
the more people involved, more suits are involved in the food chain above you.
it was
So flipping a coin.
there was 4 adverts, and
Oh,
after
flipping
the
heck! Really?
original, yeah. So what happened was there was 4 in the final 6. They needed 4 voices. So
Okay.
and each one of us got our own advert. So it's like a series they're doing, but it's 4 different variations and a voice for each one. So I thought, okay, I've got through this stage. I've done the other test reads have gone well. So you just get to that point and think, yeah, and you just know that there's one person that could undo all of it, and you just you feel kind of helpless. But
well, you are helpless. That's the thing, isn't it? So much of it's out of our control.
I mean, do you guys? I know I can ask you guys this. I mean, do you? I mean, I don't know if it's just because I'm getting older or something, but or more desperate. Or I don't know. No, I don't no idea. But it really, I have more difficulty shaking it off now.
Oh dear.
It should be the other way around because I've been doing voiceovers for a million years. But when it's something really really big, then you're going, oh come on, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just me and another guy. Why did you choose the other guy?
Well, that exact thing happened to me last year. I was in the final 2 for some national campaign for NatWest, and what made this one a little bit more gut wrenching was because the person that they brought in. So what happened was, what I was told was the director or producer had written these adverts with this voice actor in mind. It's like I don't know who the person is, but there's someone who works on TV. They've got some sort of mild celebrity status. So these adverts were written for this person. Anyway, for whatever reason, it wasn't going particularly well. And I got the phone call from my agent. She said, look, are you able to do a test read like in the next hour with the studio? Because they're looking at maybe going in a different direction. They've heard you. They think you might be right for it. I was like, yeah, absolutely. Let's do it. So got into the session. It went excellent. We did the TV ads. We did the radio ads. We did the online bumpers. Everything's going great, and they were saying we had some issues. The other person, they weren't following direction very well. They weren't giving us various takes. I was just like reeling it off. It just went really well, and then so this was the Thursday, and then they were gonna, because the ads had to come out the following week, so it was like decision was imminent.
Yeah,
and got a call off my agent when I spoke to the studio. They loved it. Everything went really really well. So they've packaged it all up and they're giving it to the creative director. And then so the Friday came, was hoping for that decision. I was like, oh, it's got to be, please.
Yeah.
And then they went, they've not decided yet. They're going to decide on Monday. I was like, oh my. Anyway, Monday they went, we're really sorry. I was like, basically what happened was they said because the ads were written for this other person in mind, the creative director just couldn't shake it that was their original voice, and despite the sessions going well, they're going to go with that original option. And that was it. Normally I can just like, okay, forget it. But I think I think sometimes when the hype has been built up a little bit too much, and if you buy into the hype, I think that's when it can feel a bit more of a gut punch, and it's harder to let it go when you don't get it. You know what I mean? So I do get it. I know what you mean.
Yeah, but listen, the National Lottery, all win, whatever it is, in the UK.
I can't remember.
I'm asking you now because you get to listen to it, but about, I don't know, 3 months ago or something like that. I suddenly got that call. We need a new voice for the National Lottery. But it's also for the America, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. Oh, whoa. And my agent's going, don't fuck it up.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Thanks for your support.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the brief simply was, we want something kind of otherworldly, something like a Rutger Hauer, Blade Runner, a voice you can't put a nationality to. And I tend to get those kind of jobs because I don't really have a dialect. So you can't, so I did a kind of Rutger Hauer, and I thought that's fine. It just sounded a bit sort of Dutch something. English, I don't know what it is. But the point being is when they ask for a recall and then it's online and the Zoom and I just go see these 2 guys from London again, and I go, hello, and you could see that right there. They went, you're English. I went, yeah, you know. And I just went, oh, I've just fucked it. Because if you're not the character, but I'm real curious to know who got it. I haven't seen it or heard it.
What did you say? The main
It was
lottery.
The commercial is a very interesting kind of a wokey wedding, where the one side of the family are all very tall, and the other family are very, very short. And the husband and the two people getting married, one's very tall and the other one's very small. And this was kind of a worldly sort of voice looking at people going, we're all different and we're all the same, but you never know how your luck can change. Something like that. It was a very charming.
It sounds like a nice ad.
Really
Obviously, they
nice.
chose the wrong voice actor, but charming ad.
But the thing is, you never know. But
never know. You will have to look out for it.
I think that's one of the things. If you don't land a job, is then going online and finding it and seeing who got it.
Don't do that.
I'm going to do this now. I haven't found out. I'm not going to find the guy, and I'm going to kill him.
Yeah. And then the spot will be available again. So it all works out. David, I've got to ask, because obviously there's so many of us who want to replicate your experiences in these games and things. Like, have you got any advice for any of us who want to smash auditions? Obviously, I know it was kind of slight serendipity, but obviously mainly talent that got you this job. Like, what wisdom can you share?
It's very simple, actually. Because I could have done anything with that character, because it had never been done before, and he didn't exist. He has no childhood. Doesn't come from a place. He comes from a little test tube. All that stuff. It's simply this: whatever approach you think is best, if it's out of instinct or you've done your research or whatever it is, and you think, I'm going with that John Wayne kind of sound.
Yeah.
Or whatever, John Cleese or whatever, or a type. I'm going to go with this moody something from Pulp Fiction. Whatever the sound, whatever the thing you're committing to, just commit 100% to that only.
Okay.
Because it never, in my experience, it never works if, as an potential employed actor who's desperate to get the job, you're trying to please everyone, and you actually slightly change your approach during your take.
Yeah, I think if
you start out like Matt Damon and you end up like Arnold Schwarzenegger, and you're going, no, you just got to roll the dice on that one way of doing it.
Commit. I think that's such good advice.
Because it will come across. The commitment will come across. Yeah. My litmus test, seriously, is if I get goosebumps. Off my own voice, which is a bit kinky. But,
it's the best, though.
We won't go there. Amazing. We'll choose not to go there. But if I'm doing I'll arrest myself. Now, if I'm actually doing a job, even a real job, I'm thinking, this is, and the people in the studio, and I'm looking through the room full of suits or something, and I'm doing it like they said I should do it, and we do it like that, and then everyone's nodding, and that's it. We're okay. We're fine. If there's some time left, and I have a really serious gut feeling, I just kind of go, excuse me, can I just ask for 1.5 minutes of your time? And they go, why? We've got it. I went, can I just try it like this? And they go, okay, finish your cafe lattes, gentlemen, ladies. And I give it a shot like I wanted, my instinct is telling me how to do it. And I can feel it, and I know that's the one.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, on the majority of occasions, I don't know how much of a majority but on the majority of occasions, they go, shit, that's the one. That's the one. Because without maybe they're realizing it themselves, maybe half the room also got slight goosebumps and went, he really, really meant that. Or
I think there's
that approach was believable. I go with that character rather than, I often get to do, could you just do a big sort of American trailer voice in a world, all that stuff. Yeah. And you're going, I can,
Yeah, you're adding the
would
voice,
match.
though, aren't you? You're
It
not
would match
feeling
the
it.
orchestra and the American flag being stuck in the top of this mountain in slow motion, Iwo Jima, all that. But it's bollocks. Could I just talk like one of the soldiers who's been shot at all day and is a bit knackered? Kind of a feeling, or, and you could see them going, no, but this company is huge. It's the biggest container ship company on the planet. Ooh, just hear me out. And then, and that, because that was one job that just came to mind, where they went, shit, that's the one. And, I could see the guy who's been brought in to litmus test and make sure I did the voiceover just like it was, he'd been told it should be done. You could see him pushing the sound technician during the take. So, saying, are you getting this? Are you getting this? It's, of course I'm getting it, you dickhead. And that's the one thing with it.
But I think that's a good...
So, just commit 100% to your approach.
That is great. I think that is one thing, like, in terms of trusting yourself, because when you go into sessions, there are people that have a vision. They write things with an idea in mind from things they've heard, and they think, we want this voice actor to replicate it. But whilst do what they ask, I think, trust in yourself that if you have an approach to it that you think may work, once you've done it fast, I think, believe in yourself and commit to it, because we record stuff all the time, so we have maybe a slightly different viewpoint or an approach to a script or a character that they may not have considered. And that's just through voicing so many things at so many different times. So I think, that's a really interesting point. There are times I've voiced stuff and I thought, I wonder if there's a way of maybe like just changing it ever so slightly. And like, it doesn't always work, obviously, but I think if you feel something and you believe that it could potentially work and it's just a different angle, trust in yourself, give it a go.
Yeah, I mean, of course, it's important for us all to listen and take direction.
Yeah.
Very important.
And sometimes they don't have time, and they will be like, "No, I'm sorry,
all
we're
of that.
ending it." It's
of course. And then you just have to go, fine, listen, hey, I've done what I was asked to do. I would have done it differently.
Better.
But of course, it's important. And I think that is a challenge as a new beginner. Is how good you are at taking direction.
Yes, huge.
Because if you're new, maybe you're not as good as that. And I think, without saying anything against other people who've not had acting training, but if you've had some form of education as in an acting school or acting education and some years behind you, then it does. You just have more experience in taking direction.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, I know what you mean. Boom. Got
it.
And whereas if you're new to the game, that can obviously be your Achilles heel.
I definitely
if you're
agree.
auditioning, go for an approach and stick with it.
Yeah, I think when I am auditioning, and most of the time it's by myself in my little booth, and you are particularly for gaming, you might have 3 lines of kind of obscure dialogue that you're desperate then like to show your entire acting ability in those 3 lines, and you're like, but so I have to show every little nuance, and this person's got this whole backstory, and I've written it all down, and you're like, it's just.
Oh, Jen, my heart goes out to you. Because, is that you've got 3 lines. I mean, I remember I went to a film acting masterclass with Michael Caine, the BBC did back in the 80s. And it was fabulous. We had 2 days of Michael Caine doing stand-up, basically. It was so educating. But he said, you know what the hardest thing is? He said, when you're new to this industry and you've got 5 lines and you're playing a small part in a big film, and when you arrive, you fly in and you're in Bulgaria and everyone's going, Bob, Tom, Jem, Harry. And they're all just being a huge group of lovies.
Yeah.
And you're the guy who no one knows, and you've got 3 lines. And you've got 1 shot at this to say your 3 lines before you get back on your plane, go back to your flat and clap them, whatever. That's actually far harder, he was saying. Than being on a film where you've got tons of lines for 3 months.
Yeah.
And I kind of get that, because you just you've got to just be there, and no one's in a way going to notice it if you're doing it right. If you see Name of the Rose, the Sean Connery film, there's a guy in that film who has the best agent in the universe. And I can't remember his name now, but I was watching this with a bunch of other actors down in, I was doing rep in Exeter 100 years ago in the 80s, 89, 88. Point is, we were watching Name of the Rose one night on TV after the show we were doing. And This actor comes in as another monk, and he's got, what's his name? He's got Sean Connery, obviously, and the J. Abrahamson, who won the Oscar for Mozart, Salieri. So these seriously good actors. Yeah. And this brain donor comes in from the side. And he acts so exquisitely shitly. I mean, it'll take your breath away. You've got to find the scene. We watched this, and he comes in, and he acts Mr. Wooden Top. He says his lines, as shit as you humanly possibly, and then at the end of his line, it's like, oh, I just blew it. He goes, oh, which for us, we went, oh my God, he's just realized he's fucked it, you know. Anyway, we watched to the end of the film. We said, who is that? What's the name of that monk? We had to watch him say, all right, brother Thomas. And all right, brother Thomas. When we get to the film, we will watch the whole of the credit list on this VHS film to find out what his name is and just how you spell it and everything. So we can then look him up in Spotlight, find out if he has an agent, which you must have to get into a big film. And that's the agent we're going to hit. Oh, my God, that agent worked the room. How the hell was he in the same set?
Oh, my gosh.
And never mind the same scene. I'll never forget that. So if you really want a good agent, find out. See that film, find his name, and look up his agent, because that's the agent.
Oh, amazing.
Never worked for me, by the way. We all wrote to that agent. There's no word of a lie. It didn't even work. Yeah, they went, oh God, bloody hell, we got all these people who've seen it.
Influx, what's going on?
Don't get it.
I've got to, I'm just mindful of the time because I've got this session in
18
minutes. But it's frustrating because I've got tremendously more things I want to talk about. But while we do still have a bit of time, just going back to the Hitman character for a second. So as things are, are you... So, continuing to do it for the foreseeable? Is there more scope plan with the character? Because obviously, I was going to ask you about the movies. Did you ever get earmarked to play the character in the movies?
Oh, Dimensions of War. I'm going to do this in under 3 minutes, but believe me. Short story. Sadly, Paul Walker passed away doing a stunt for Fast and the Furious. And suddenly it had become a European film now. Luc Besson was the producer. And I got the word that he was very much interested in having me. He said, because they'd done 9 months of pre-production teasers and stuff, you know. No one knows what he looks like. No one, because if you've met him, you're dead. And all these kind of things. So it wasn't a case of, oh, there's Tom Cruise playing Agent 47. Oh, it's Matt Damon, you know. It's like, it's that bald guy. Who the hell is that? That's what he wanted to do with a European take on this film. Point is, 20th Century Fox didn't want to take the chance. And they had Timothy Oliphant under contract for that cowboy western series where they all swore all the time. Can't remember the name of it. They had dead something. Anyway, so that's as close as I came. But here's the weird thing. My neighbor in Copenhagen at that time was Ulrik Thomsen, the Danish actor, who played the villain. So I was shouting over the fence to Ulrik, I'm going to kill you. Yeah, and he said, fuck off. He said, yes, I am. I'm going to take you. And we had the same agent. I was 47 at the time. And the film was being shot in South Africa, where I'm from. So I'm going, okay, do I have to spell this out anymore? But the short story is even where we said 20th century, would you just give this guy 15 minutes of your life? Aren't you even curious? And they went, no. So still again, it wasn't meant to be.
Wasn't meant to be.
It's just like, I think, because obviously the voice is obviously such an iconic part of the game. So and the fact that you bear resemblance to the character, it's like, I don't know, I think that
but you're also a screen actor as well. Like, it's not like you've purely always been voice.
You don't have the credentials to be able to do the role as well. So it's it's a bit. I wonder if it's one of those where if it was ever revisited again, it's like, okay, well we've tried this a couple of times, and I think both times we've just missed the obvious mark, and we should have actually maybe just tried it to happen, because I think when that voice comes through and you're portraying the character, I don't know, I just feel like I think it would just click into place so much better.
I mean, I do think that, but I didn't turn out.
Get a petition started.
But yeah, exactly. Bloody hell. The fans, they are the militant ones. They're fantastic. No, just to say, yes, I'm still involved. I'm doing not one, but two more elusive targets coming up.
Nice.
I don't know who the famous people I'm going to kill are. Because they know, David, if we tell you, you'll just tell everyone. I went, no, I won't.
Oh, actually, on that,
David's nodding fervently on that.
Yes, exactly. Blabbermouth.
Is it right that one of the guy that from Absolution, he became a target in the game? Is that true? Tom Cruise's cousin, the one that from the original.
Christopher Malapat.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm sure I read that he actually became a target in the game.
Oh, that's harsh, though, isn't it? I don't
yeah,
know if I'd want
it.
that.
Yeah. You got dropped. Now we have to kill you.
And we're going to kill you. No, that seems a lot.
I'm sure I read that actually in a funny twist that they actually put this character in the game and then he became your target.
Actually, I'm not sure. I don't know. I think the actors get. I don't know. Is the short answer. I will say this: there's. IO Interactive have just launched their James Bond franchise with First Light.
Yeah.
And there was a tremendous amount of attention on the worldwide what's it from the fans of the game to say, couldn't it be cool if David could play a villain?
Yeah.
In the next, in this game, or even just one of the villains, and whatever. But and I thought actually that would have been a good idea because there's 85 million people playing the Hitman franchise daily.
85 million.
And up to 300 million who've played it and have it in the house. But 85 million active players on a daily basis, which is insane.
That is insane.
It's a bit worrying. It's like you're going, oh shit, no pressure, David. Don't fuck up.
Do you ever?
Hello.
Just out of interest, do you ever if you go somewhere, I don't know, even if you come across someone who could be a potential, I'm just throwing this out, a potential gamer, for example, I don't know, you go to the supermarket, some young lad, do you ever put the voice on just to see if you get a reaction?
Oh, don't go there. I get recognized. Seriously, this is still takes me genuinely by surprise. My voice gets recognized. All over the place. I'm not just in Denmark where I'm going, oh, it's age 47 over there. Yeah. No, I see it with double looks. And it's either a young boy tugging at his father's sleeve as they walk past me and I'm talking to someone and I just know what's coming in the next 3 minutes. The kids going, Dad, it's him. It is. Don't be stupid. It can't be. And then they turn around and my son wants to know. And I go, yes, it is. And it's so insane. Or it's a fully grown man. It happened at Christmas. It's happened loads of times before Christmas, after Christmas. But my brother was visiting from the UK. I'm in the middle of Copenhagen at a Christmas market. Snow at an ice rink. It's Hans Christian Andersen world. And I'm just talking, having a hot dog to my brother, and this young couple come up to me from the States, and they go, "Excuse me, sir, it's going to sound really, really funky question to ask you, but are you Agent 47?" And I went, "Yes, I am. I'm in disguise. Shh, don't tell them." But I'm eating my hot dog. But no, it generally happens a lot. But it happens. This is the scary bit, in a way. It happens all over the bloody planet. When I go to game cons from Seattle, San Francisco, Phoenix, last year I was in Dublin, happened there just walking down the street. And I was in Birmingham last weekend at the MegaCon at the NEC. And I'm going to the toilet in a hotel. It's embarrassing. Just when someone's next to you and going, sorry,
I think I'd always use cubicles.
Now's not a really good time to ask you, but are you Agent 47? And I just pissed down their leg,
Yeah. It must be just,
sorry, Jen.
It must be just the coolest thing to have. Like you said, 85 million players, a recurring character. There's across so many games. What an incredible. I wouldn't say achievement, but I think it goes way beyond that. I think it's just become so synonymous in gaming that I think anybody who wants to try voicing gaming, they aspire to have something like that. But I think the Hitman character, is one of those that will be around for such a long time. Well, that's what I can ask you as well.
Yeah.
I have to be very quick, but would you ever? Has anyone ever talked to you about doing AI for the Hitman game in terms of like the AI, the voice? Is that ever?
No. Obviously, IO Interactive have the good right to sort of AI my voice, but I think the fans would kill them.
Yeah,
that's we're seeing that.
The game now, there's a lot of respect for the voice. There is definitely a swing back in AI.
Oh, well, we've literally been talking about this, and I think that is.
I've got two. I can't talk about them, but I've got 2 cases coming up this year.
Okay.
Where I'm suing people.
Oh wow.
We're definitely seeing a pushback.
We'll be following that then.
I think AI.
But by the way, I mean, BAFTA Games called out in their World Survey most compelling game in the was it the most, not the word compelling, it's like a word but like that. But the point is a character who's the most famous in computer games, and it was Lara Croft from Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
It was Luigi Mario, and the third most famous character, it was Agent 47, which took us all by surprise. But so. No, I mean, AI is there and it is not going away, but I think they'd be very, very stupid.
They would
to try and just AI the voice. The fans would kill them.
We're definitely seeing on a daily basis, and I talk about this a lot, that the pushback against AI is definitely real. I think
it is.
There's been so much what they call AI slop produced, whether it's AI videos, a barrage of AI voices, that I think we've kind of got to that point where, it will exist for certain things, but not talking about the tech side of it. I'm talking more like the entertainment side of it. It will serve its purpose to a certain degree, but this notion that it was going to take over everything is just so far from the truth. And I think now people are, when they are hearing real performances, whether it's in voice acting or if it is like a piece of video content, because it is human-made, it resonates so much more, especially after getting so much of the artificial stuff. And it's like, well, there's no comparable.
Well, just to end off, Jack Black is Bowser in the Super Mario film.
I was going to say
I'm the Danish Bowser. So I'm the Danish Jack Black. And I was invited to the premiere just the other day and brought onto the stage together with Pilo Asbæk, who plays Luigi Mario, famous Danish actor, very good actor. But the point is, there was this incredible, wow, those are this is a Danish game, a Danish version of the film to 5.5, 6 million people on the planet. But there is such a respect for the humans, the character, and the person's name. Jack Black. Can you imagine Jack Black being AI'd? There'd be a riot.
Absolutely.
The same goes for everyone.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
David, it's been so interesting. Thank you so much.
For our listeners, I know obviously we can't talk forever, but I just want to apologise so basically, just for those that know, I have a session that was supposed to be yesterday.
Also, David's got to get on.
David's got a life to live, he can't just
on the
podcast. But they had to change it to today and I couldn't move it. So I thought we were going to have a good chat, but I didn't think we'd have so much more still to talk about and run out of time, which I'm desperately frustrated about. If we can hoodwink you to a part 2, I think we might try.
You're so welcome. I have to say, this has been more than brilliant.
It's so lovely.
Jen, thanks for making the contact.
Yeah, my pleasure.
It has generally been just tremendous fun talking to you, and I do mean it when I say that there's loads more that I've wrote some bullet points down I've not even reached yet. And it comes away from the Hitman stuff. Like, it was more about just other aspects of work in the industry and other bits and pieces I just want to talk about. So
part 2. I have to say it for
if we can do a part 2, then one day.
Or one voice. We see it one voice, hopefully. Fingers crossed it all works out.
But yeah, so
You're
David,
so welcome.
Thank you so much for your time today. It really has been a fantastic
My pleasure.
And a fantastic conversation. And for those that have listened, I hope you enjoyed it just as much as we did.
Wait to see what you do
It's
next.
been incredibly interesting, funny, and insightful. So so thank you once again.
Thank you.
And that'll wrap us up for today's show, folks. So I guess we'll see you on the next episode.
See you on the next one.
Cheers,
Bye.
folks. Bye bye.